guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. Remember that every Sunday we do have our first time buyer series where I share my experience and knowledge on all things real estate. In today's episode of the first time buyer series, we will be talking about the mistakes that I made, and I'm going to be telling you guys everything that I wish I knew before I actually bought the property. If you're new here, my name is Jada, and make sure say you subscribe to the little channel. In this video, let me just make it really quick. You guys can already see I'm in my bed, I'm chilled, I'm cozy, Sunday vibes, and I don't know. One of the first things that I wish someone told me before I bought the property was that you need to get life insurance. So before you actually qualify for your mortgaging process, you're going to have to apply for life insurance, and sometimes the life insurance can actually come from a lender. So I got my mortgage from Jamaica National, and they also have life insurance policies. So if you don't currently have a budget for life insurance, that's something that you will need to add to your budget. And if you're in the process of buying a house, then you would have already known this by now. So yeah, the whole life insurance thing did come as a shocker to me because I never planned for it, I never saved for it. And these are some of the things where like I just wish banks were more transparent about, for just make people know how much exactly how much they're going to need when they're considering buying a house and how much actual mortgage payments will be. So basically, when you have life insurance, I think the logic behind of it is that when, say God forbid, anything happens to you throughout the whole process or after, the bank would be able to get their money from the life insurance policy. They'll be able to get the remaining payment for the house from your life insurance policy, and then the remaining money from that, if there is any, will then be distributed to you or to your family. And with life insurance, guys, is not always a smooth road, because with me, when I actually did my life insurance policy, and this is what I wish somebody tell me too, you can't get life insurance if you're going to do a major surgery. As you guys know, back last year in November, I donated a kidney to my dad. So because I was buying a house in the same time frame, so I applied. I think I was in the process of buying the house, like finalizing stuff in like September, and they were just like, okay, you need to get a life insurance. So while I get a local life insurance now, they explained that they weren't able to grant me this because they're not sure if I'll be able to come off the surgery successfully. So I won't be able to actually have a life insurance, an active life insurance, until after surgery. And after surgery, I have to reapply and do the whole thing again. So if you're trying to buy a house and you're also having surgery, it might be worth you waiting until you finish surgery to get your life insurance, or you just delay one or the other. The next thing that I wish I knew was that when you are, oh god, and this is a big one, when you're doing your house viewing, guys, the house that you view may not necessarily be the one that you buy, like that you actually purchase. I know it sounds so simple, but when I was doing my viewings, I swear to God that the house that I viewed would have been the one that I actually purchased. I didn't know that and I never know say it's not the house I view, I buy, until I actually get key to the house. So that was a messy mistake. I mean, that I view that I show you guys is similar, if it's identical to the one that I actually purchased and living now. Not living, one that I purchased and run the Airbnb now, but it's not the same. It's not the same. The sizes are the same. So say for instance, like the one that I viewed, the kitchen was on the right hand side. The one that I bought, the kitchen is on the left hand side. So when I actually got the keys and I saw the house, I was a bit disappointed, because obviously I was under the impression that the one that I viewed, other one that I get. If you guys look at the videos, you guys can see that the tiles are not the same. That video, I did a furnishing my apartment video. If you guys view that, you can see that in the first video of my actual viewing, the before, you can see that the tiles in the bathroom there are not the same as the tile in the bathroom that we currently have. And that's just one of the minor, inconvenience that came with it. So if you're viewing the house, definitely ask whoever is there, the property developer, whoever, the realtor, definitely ask them if this is the house that you will buy, if it's if it's the actual apartment that you will buy, or this is just a show house. Another thing, what else more I don't know? Okay, another thing that I wish I knew, oh god, this one is so long though. Another thing that I wish I knew was that when you do buy the house, like, it not come perfect. It not come perfect, it not come spick and span. There will still be some work to do. I don't know if that's with all apartments, but with my strata, Anna me alone did say that everybody else on the strata had complaints as to how they actually got the property once they got their keys. We did have enough work to do, and work like so like, say for instance, the apartment will say it comes with a what is something name? It comes with a tank, right? It will say the apartment comes with a tank, it comes with an AC. When I actually get the apartment now, I realize I now have to buy something like, it's kind of like a tank generator. I don't know what the right word is, like a pump. I now have to buy a pump, which basically costs like $15,000 to $30,000 for connect the tank to the house. Nobody never tell me that before. Nobody, it never in my contract. It just say, girl, tank come with the house. I say, oh yeah, that good. Save where save money is a bargain. But really and truly, I still have to pay $30,000 out of my pocket or I never budget for. All of these things that I'm telling you guys, just have the courage and just ask your realtor, or ask the seller, ask the vendor, will the property come with a tank? Or when they say it comes with a tank, does it come with a pump? You know, you ask them, it's specific. You have to be. And to me, they're very smart, you know, them very smart, because they might trick you. They might trick you. That's one of the things. The next thing was that, oh god, remember this now. When we got the apartment, the place stink. And this is because they didn't grout the toilet. And I'm not the only resident that experienced that. Other residents experienced that. And this is the thing with when you actually go to viewings as to when you actually buy the property. When you view it, everything is in order, everything tidy, everything smells sweet like roses and peaches. When you buy the house now and you go there, it's a completely different reality where you see. Which is so heartbreaking, because you spend so much time and effort into this process, and then at the end right now, it's like you have to pass a next hurdle and you have these other obstacles to go over when nobody not really tell you about. You understand? Because like I say, when me I buy it, when I see everything clean, everything like, it never cleaned for perfect, like there were cleaners there, but it did doable. Like it never looked like there was a lot more work to do than what was actually visible. So this is why I highly recommend you going on multiple viewings for the same property, because anything can happen. And remember, like, when you're viewing it for one time, sometimes you're just a bit distracted by how everything looks. Sometimes you just want to go there for feel it out, you know, go there sometime and use the toilet, see if the things that might work. Because once you buy the house, like, everything is basically on your shoulders. But I'm going to tell you guys how we fixed and overcome everything afterwards. So the toilet never have no growth. That was one thing. The toilet them never flush. That's because the plumbers didn't like activate the thing in it. So like there was just a lot of small tedious tasks to do. Not even small, because them expensive. I don't think them are small. Sorry guys, my battery is dying, so I'll probably have to go try to talk fast. Yeah, so as I was saying guys, yeah, in the end, like, there was so much work that I had to do and so much payouts that I had to make. It just really extended my budget, as it did kind of just make my budget go overboard, and I had to find the money that I didn't plan to spend. Like, in the end, by the time I done pay a plumber for come fix toilet, I done pay a plumber for do this and for do that, like, I easily spent at least another 100 to 200,000 Jamaican dollars just getting the property ready for furnishing. So other things in terms of the properties I wish someone told me that I didn't consider prior to buying it was that if you're going to buy a property in Jamaica that's on the ground floor, you have to consider grilling the apartment due to the high crime rates in Jamaica. And that is what I never budget for either. I think I told you guys this already, and it still upset me to this day, because out of nowhere, I literally just had to find like 60,000 Jamaican dollars to pay for grilling. It was just bizarre. Yes, guys, like personally me, like I expected that once I got the key to the apartment, I should be able to go there, do a little sweep out, do a little wipe out, and just be able to furnish it. I don't want to have the hassle of having to constantly be calling the developer and constantly be calling plumbers and finding grill man and finding handyman to just get the place ready. Like there was just so much work to do. At one point I had to have a plumber come. I had to change out one of my shower head because one of them broke. I had to get a plumber to get sand and gravel out of the shower head because we couldn't wash ourselves properly. I had to get an AC man to come and reposition the AC because it never really catch up right. And like we say, guys, like all of these stuff, it takes up a lot of your time, it takes a lot of your energy. And to me, it made me like overly anxious and stressed because it was Christmas time and I was trying to get the apartment up and ready to put it on the Airbnb site, you know, for try to get some customers to make some money. And like I said, I just never budget for do all of these things. I'm never budget for spend my time grill up place or spend my time sand out cupboard because all of the gravel and the stuff them then they from the sand down. Like it was just so much work to do. This is kind of handy news, but basically I don't know if this is in everyone's contract, but it's worth you asking. When I checked my contract, we basically had we had 6 months from the day you purchase it and move in. You have 6 months in which you can call and contact the developer to fix any building problem. You know, once me find out that 24/7 me I call the developer. So it did cost me a lot of time, but the things that I could afford to pay for to do for myself, I just got it out the way because like I said, I was in a rush to try to get the Christmas Airbnb crowd. And then the things that I couldn't afford or the things that the developer had access to or that he was responsible for, he kind of dealt with that. And that's why it's kind of so important to have good relationships with people as well, because he helped me out on a lot of stuff that I probably would have had to pay someone for. So when you're going through your house process, just try to be as polite as possible because you just don't know what tomorrow brings and you just don't know when you might need help. Or another thing that happened on the complex, and I really feel like Jamaica Strata Commission needs to be a bit stricter with these developers because some things when them people I get with a murder. For the prices, it's absolute murder. One of our residents, I think she had air caught under her tile, so our tile then basically just start shift and she kind of had to retile half of a whole room because the whole thing did just mess up. And again, that's another inconvenience that nobody not really talk about, nobody not really tell with these things, that these things do occur. The whole home buying process, it can be quite draining, and yeah, I'm just wanting to be aware. So everything not perfect, everything not spick and span, and these are the things that I wish someone told me. So this is why I'm telling you guys, so you guys can just have a head start and just kind of know what to expect. Also to just be able to accept when things do go wrong, or even not wrong, when things don't go on, when things aren't working on your time, or when things just aren't how you imagined it. I wish I knew that. Sorry guys, the day I get that now, so I go down. Okay guys, the next thing that I want to tell you is that anything is possible in terms of shit just hitting the fan and shit just going down south. Because with me, in the last half of my process, I almost didn't get the house, and I can probably put this in a story time just to really tell you guys how it went down. But basically, I was in a situation where I had the money initially and something came up and the money had to be used for emergency, and I was in a situation where I now had to decide whether I am going to withdraw my mortgage application or I'm going to break my back and find this money elsewhere. I broke my back and I found the money, and obviously I got the house. But this is what I wish someone told me before, because basically when I was considering withdrawing the application, I would have lost so much money. You don't lose all of it, but you do lose a lot of your money that you've invested. You'd have lost a lot of your deposits and a lot of the costs that you would have paid along the way. So I really wish someone told me that, you know, if you're going to go in this, make sure that you have the money locked away in an account, or make sure that you have additional emergency funds, because anything can happen and if you don't pay the money, you're gonna lose everything we put in before. So yeah, just be wary of that. If you have the money, if you can save the emergency fund, then definitely do that. If you don't, then it's just a risk you take with life, innit? I also wish I knew that Jamaica National doesn't actually I don't know if this has changed since, but I doubt it. Another thing I wish I knew was that Jamaica National don't issue 110% mortgaging to residents that live overseas. I'm not quite sure why that is, but that was the initial mortgaging process that I wanted to select and go with, because the plan was that if I pay the 10% deposit into the house. Okay, so for the people that don't know what 110% financing or mortgaging is, it's basically when the bank lends you 110% mortgaging. So what would have happened is that I would have paid the 10% deposit for the house, and then at the end of the transaction, at the end of the purchase of the house, I would have gotten that 10% back from the bank. But Jamaica National don't actually do this process for people that live overseas. So I had to, while I was in the process, that's when I actually found it out. So basically, when I pay the 10%, I was under the impression that I was going to be getting this 10% back, and that 10% would have been what I would have used to furnish the Airbnb. Push come to shove, I didn't get the money back. They explained that they could only give me how much, 95%? Yeah, they could only give me 95% mortgaging, and at this point I already paid my deposit. So I was just like, okay, so I'm basically just have to find the money for furnish the apartment elsewhere then, because on another give me that 10% the way I did a bank pan. Telling you guys, I've been through so much shit, it's not even funny anymore. Okay, yes, another thing I wish someone told me, which I found out throughout the process, but I thought that once the bank approves the mortgage, like it's the next day or like within that week, you're going to get the keys to the house and you're going to be able to move in. But that's not the case. When they approve the mortgaging process, there's another process after that, which I explained in my previous videos, so go and watch them. After they approve the mortgaging process, it's a whole another process after that of, you know, just really closing it off with, yeah. That process entails things like your lawyer negotiating the closing costs with the vendor, just finishing off, adding the title to the property, really just going through the legalities of the whole process. So yeah, I wish someone told me that. And other than that, I think that's it. I think everything else I kind of learned before I started the process, and everything else I kind of learned during. What I will say is, like, buying a house it's a huge achievement, but in the same breath, it's also not as glamorous as people make it. It's definitely not. There's a whole lot of stress and anxiety and time that go into the actual process of buying a house. And then when you actually get the house now, there's another process of getting it ready to be habitual or even to be ready for an Airbnb. So with that said, you just need to have some patience. Definitely try to do as much research as you can. Like I've said a million times, talk to people that currently own homes, ask them about their process, how it went down. You guys can always send me emails and DMs. And yeah, just go with God. Just go with God. That's literally it. I think that's all for me today, guys. But guys, we have the first time buyer series every Sunday. So if you want to see more content like this, make sure that you subscribe to the page. Be sure to like and comment. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is there anything else that you guys wish you knew before you bought your house? Did you guys find this video useful? And you guys can follow me on Instagram at _JAYXOS. And I'll see you guys next week, Sunday. Thank you, guys. Bye.